Evening to all of you, and thanks to Dr. Saurabh for including me in this program. So I'm going to speak about upon a very important clinical condition, that is the post-operative 6-week. The patient comes with red eye and pain. So I think, yeah. So the ideal post-operative recovery, that is at around 4 to 6 weeks, the patient will have good vision. He'll have no perilumbal congestion. A cornea will be clear. The section is clear. A very quiet anterior chamber. No posterior synechiae or pigments in the intraocular lens. The intraocular lens is centered in the bag with a clear posterior capsule and a clear antivitreous. However, if the patient comes to you around the 4th to 6th week when the steroid is being tapered, comes with a history of subnormal vision with ocular pain and redness as the steroid is reducing in frequency, these are signs of chronic inflammation. You will have a persistent limbal congestion. You may see keratotic precipitates. There may be mild low-grade flare, cells, or even streak hypopyon. There could be, in some cases, a growth in the anterior chamber, posterior synechiae, a plaque at the posterior capsule, and careful examination might reveal antivitreous cells or even diffuse vitreous haze. So a very similar thing can happen at the end of 6 weeks with a good post-op recovery. You may have a fibrous PCO, but this is not actually an infection because there is no signs of inflammation, and it's just a fibrous plaque on the PC, and it is very diffuse. So so what you have to basically look at, you have signs of persistent inflammation, which I just enumerated. You look for the source of inflammation in these cases. You might see a corneal abscess or a wound infiltrate. You might see antechamber mass. You might look for iris nodules, and you could look for posterior chamber plaque. And very importantly, you must dilate and re-examine the patient here, because you might want to look for non-infectious cause, which is retained lens matter in the angle or behind the iris. So what is chronic post-cataract surgery endophthalmitis? Usually seen after 6 weeks, and it presents as a persistent low-grade inflammation in the antechamber. Most of them will have decreased vision. They will have mild ocular pain, and almost 50% will have hypopyon. There will be a characteristic white plaque on the posterior lens capsule. Antivitreous human involvement is quite common. So, and there's a very high rate of recurrent inflammation despite hiking up the steroids repeatedly. So what is the pathophysiology of a chronic post-op infection? Classically, you will see that in the black IOL, a low virulent organism which is sequestered in the bag. It's usually associated with antivitreous cells. There could be even string of beads in the antivitreous, which can be due to a fungal infection or vitreous haze. And there's usually a dichotomous response to topical steroids. You will have, when you increase these corticosteroid, topical steroids, you will see a reduction of the anterior chamber cells and flare, but there's not much change in the vitreous reaction. And then you will see a recurrence of inflammation on decreasing the topical steroid frequency. So what are the most common organisms that we see? Most common organism which we suspect is the Propionibacteria acne, which is a commensal gram-positive bacilli. It's a low virulence organism. Characteristically, you will see a posterior capsule plaque. There is hypopyon with granulomatous keratotic precipitates. And the other most common organism that you see is a coagulase negative gram-positive cocci, that is Staphylococcus epidermidis. Again, it's a low virulence organism, has characteristic biofilms, has fibrin capsules on the IOL, and vitritis. Very rarely you might just see fungal infection, and very rarely at around 6 weeks you will see a fluffy growth in the antechamber. Most often you will see it after many weeks to months later. But you must always keep that in mind. So what is the management for such a case? When you have signs of persistent inflammation with suspicious growth in the antechamber, it's always better to do an antechamber tap or a vitreous tap, and you do a gram staining, KOH mount, bacterial fungal culture, and polymerase reaction for a eubacterian genome, P. acne, and pan fungal genome. However, if there is no visible growth in the anterior chamber and you see no vitreous reaction, you can always give a therapeutic topical steroid challenge, and you hike up the topical steroids, monitor the reaction periodically, pay careful attention to the antivitreous cells if there are any, and vitreous clarity. Note for recurring inflammation on tapering of steroids, and if it persists on tapering steroids or growth is seen, then consider AC tap. To be pragmatic, it's better to avoid periocular or intraocular or oral steroids, because steroids in such a setting where there's a low virulent bacterial fungus, it's a double-edged sword. a subclinical infection, steroid can push it towards a clinical infection, and which can lead to a poor prognosis. So keep a high index of suspicion for infection, do an EC tab, or refer the patient to a vitreoretinal specialist. And to sum it up, my take-home message is look at the signs of persistent inflammation, namely keratotic precipitates and the other signs that I talked about. Dilate and re-examine the patient. Look for cellular collection. A plaque is a cellular collection, vitreous beads is a cellular collection, vitreous cells is a cellular collection. Recurrence of inflammation on steroid taper is very suspicious of an infectious uveitis. There is no role of periocular, intraocular oral steroids in this scenario. And please refer to a vitreoretinal colleague for further management as early as possible. Thank you.